This Santa backdrop is good enough. Last weekend on Saturday, my neighbor Jessica, she's like, "Hey Doug, you want to come help us paint something?" And I'm like, "Sure." And right before I started to go, she sent me a text and was like, "We don't have any paints." So I brought a box of paint and was expecting to have something to paint on. I got there and they were like, "Well, we need a backdrop for Santa, but we don't have anything to paint on either." My neighbor Marie, who's the director of Central Print, had this canvas and she sewed it together and she brought it to me on Monday. And I told him I'll just paint it at home. I stretched it on 2x4s on Monday, primed the canvas on Tuesday, painted almost all of it yesterday, and did the rest of the painting today. I tried to design it so that no matter where Santa sits, if he's here or here or here, it'll all make sense. There's something to look at. The seam right here, I put it right on that window frame so that you can't see it. You can see it when it comes down here, but then it goes back into the brick and it lines up with the floorboards. I did that by putting my vanishing point right there so that that vertical line would land right on the seam and hide it. This backdrop is going to be used for holidays in Old North, and the other stocking I put Sylvester. For the last 7 years, the Santa we've had in Old North, his name is Sylvester, and I call him Sylvester Claus, and this is the first year that he's not going to be Santa. And it's a little bit sad, so I put that as an homage to him. I put the arch in the window because it's visible from our neighborhood when you look straight down the street. And I wanted it all to be brick and really big wood molding around the windows because that's what the housing in Old North looks like. A lot of the houses here are 150-year-old brick buildings like mine. I'm in the basement. There's so much more I'd like to do to this, but I just don't have time. It's oil paint and I need it to be dry on Saturday. I'd like to darken the shadows on all this brick so it's not quite so bright because I'm afraid it's going to compete with Santa Claus's coat. I didn't have time to really finish the tree the way I wanted to. It looks very cartoony and I'd like to put Christmas lights on there and just make the ornaments look nicer. The stuff on the mantle, I think it looks terrible. I just would like to come back in and make it nicer. The wreath there, I think it needs some like holly, the little red berries. I think that'd look really nice. There's a man in our neighborhood named Jamaica Ray and he makes mannequins as art pieces, and so I made this Nutcracker to look like one of his mannequins. It's good enough for this year. Next year it'll be better. I plan to come back in and make it better. I'm not getting paid for this, so in 2 days this is the best I could do. But I'm happy to do it. Old North incorporates one of the lowest income zip codes in St. Louis, and about 50% of the residents don't have their own transportation. So it's important that families can walk to holidays in Old North and get a free picture with Santa. And it only happens because of neighbors like Jessica and Marie who put a ton of effort into making sure it happens. And occasionally they trick me into helping out.